Good afternoon. My name is Msgr Robert Vitillo, and I serve as the Secretary General of the International Catholic Migration Commission. It's my honor to welcome you for this launch and reception in anticipation of tomorrow's observance of World Refugee Day. And I give special greetings to their excellencies, the ambassadors who are with us, and also to all of you whom I'd like to think are friends of ICMC. Since 1951, ICMC has been serving refugees, migrants, asylum seekers, and survivors of human trafficking and modern forms of slavery, of all races, national origins, ethnic groups, as well as religious and socioeconomic backgrounds. We are a network of migration commissions of Catholic bishops' conferences in every country of the world. We also sponsor direct humanitarian assistance in emergency situations where the local churches and civil society organizations need support and assistance to handle the demands created by large migration or refugee arrivals. We work closely with UNHCR to provide legal and social experts to assist through short-term placements in UNHCR offices in every region of the world. And we convene civil society together with ICFA and the UN NGO Migration Committee to advocate on the compacts on refugees and on safe, regular, and orderly migration. And since 2011, we have played a similar role convening society and working with governments as they gather for regular sessions of the Global Forum on Migration and Development. This evening, it is a special privilege to welcome His Excellency Archbishop Ivan Jurkovic, Apostolic Nuncio and permanent observer of the Holy See to the UN in Geneva, and Her Excellency Ambassador Sally Mansfeld, permanent representative of Australia to the UN in Geneva, whose government generously provided ICMC with the funding for this photojournalism initiative with young people. I also would like to welcome His Excellency Michel Vautey, Ambassador for Prevention of Human Trafficking of the Sovereign Order of Malta. And I welcome His Excellency Ambassador Robert Chen, Director General of the Cultural and Economic Delegation of Taipei, whose government has generously supported the reception we will enjoy this evening and has donated 2,000 solar radios to beneficiaries of ICMC programs in the cities and camps of Jordan. I welcome as well Ms. Susan F. Kyle of the U.S. Mission in Geneva and her colleagues, Ms. Nicole Gartner and Ms. Kristen Frost of the Department of State, Bureau of Population, Refugees, and Migration, which generously supports ICMC programming in Jordan and in other parts of the world, including our Refugee Support Center operating in Turkey and Lebanon. We regret very much that the most honored guest this evening, the young people responsible for the photos and reflections included in the book and being launched tonight, are not able to travel to Geneva, but they are well represented. Amira Kalboneh, Protection Field Manager at ICMC in Jordan. And Amira, you're very welcome in Geneva. We're really so pleased that you could be here. And now I ask you to convey our warm greetings to the young people who contributed their keen eyes and their hearts to both the photos as well as to the reflections that they share with us in this book. And they give us permission to share this book with many other people in the world. And also, please bring my greetings to the staff in Jordan. I hope to visit all of you soon this summer, so it'll be wonderful to be able to meet you all in person. So now I would like to call upon Her Excellency Ambassador Sally Mansfeld to deliver the opening remarks.
Thank you very much indeed, Monsignor, and a very warm welcome to all of you, colleagues, friends, and people who've been involved in this project. I'm so pleased to be here, and it's really worthwhile reflecting on the fact that we are just one day out from World Refugee Day. Very much a time, I think, to reflect on the many fortunes that we have. And I think, as you'll find in this book, that actually you can find small happinesses in many parts of life. Australia was really delighted to be a co-sponsor of this project, and that sort of sense of self-expression and creativity that comes through, not only in the photos, but also in the poems and the comments that accompany them, very, very, very worthwhile reading. In places like the Mafraq camps in Jordan, where these photographs were taken, I can only imagine that a lot of these Syrian children might well feel that their dreams have little chance of being met. In Australia, we talk about children being asked at times to be seen but not heard, and one can only imagine that in a camp like that, occasions would come up where those children might feel that they are neither seen nor heard. And that's what makes this initiative so important. It's a creative way of giving refugee children and youth a voice that carries beyond their physical location, providing them a canvas to express their fears, aspirations, and their views of the future, including future education opportunities and career aspirations. This is really powerful storytelling. They're not fairy stories, but they're very much a sense of each individual's view of the world around them and what's been important to them. They comment on their own experiences, their own perspectives, and social issues. And through these photos and the words that go with them, these young people can be visible. So I really want to acknowledge the fantastic work that the ICMC colleagues, as well as many other UN and NGO and indeed government groups, have continued to do with asylum seekers and refugees around the world. I really do congratulate you, Amira, and the ICMC for bringing this to fruition. It's such a terrific and tangible sense of people's hope and the voices. I'm so pleased too that Australia was able to have supported this, and it was done through a small program by our embassy in Jordan with funds called the development assistance projects that can do these particular sorts of things. So I very much hope that in addition to picking up a copy of the book that you'll see around you, you'll really take time to appreciate the selection of photos on display and the stories and the voices behind them. In the retelling, these stories are amplified. We should listen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And now I turn to Amira to present the project and also some of the other work that you are doing in Jordan.
Sure. Hi. It's good to see you guys all here. Sure. My name is Amira. I'm the Protection Field Manager from ICMC Jordan team. I'm really delighted and excited to be here, guys, with you today to launch the PhotoVoice book that's already created by the Syrian refugee children and developed by ICMC PhotoVoice project. ICMC Jordan, okay, I think it will be better. ICMC Jordan have 3 offices, one of them in Amman and 2 field offices, one in Mafra and one in Erbil. And we already implementing the humanitarian project funded by PPRM and ECHO. We are around 120 staff, and we served around 55,000 beneficiaries until now. I'm gonna start with the PhotoVoice project. Sorry for that. To begin with, I would like to explain a little bit about the PhotoVoice project and why we targeted children and youth, Syrian children and youth. First of all, more than the half of the population, the Syrian population, it's under 18 years old. And they already have a huge potential and capacity to build their positive social change and peace. But they need to have like an opportunity to do all of that, to show us their voices or to hear their voices or already to empower them to hear their voices. So the PhotoVoice project, it aims to do that. So we already empowered their voices, the Syrian and Jordanian, to be an active participant in the community itself. And during like using a medium digital skill and the storytelling. To explain a little bit about the PhotoVoice project and the implementation for the PhotoVoice project, we already worked with the participant for 2 weeks. We held a workshop for them, like 2 weeks workshop to learn about how to use the cameras and how to use the mini digital cameras, we can say it. And after that, we already developed their skills from the creativity thing and the self-expression. And we already focused on 4 themes: the gender, the peace, and hopes, dreams, and the self-identity. After finishing the 2 weeks workshop, we held an exhibition in their local community, and we invited their families and a few key members from the community. It helped mobilize all of their needs and to let the community hear their voices by the stories and the photos. And we can say the final part is here with you guys today, the book. So we hope and we wish that we are ready to open the broader international community member around about the protection needs and the narrative for the young people voices. As you go through the book, the message that we want to share with you guys, that young children and youth, they face a lot of things, starting from war to trauma, and they still have the capacity to share their voices and to let the people hear them. And it's already they need to build their future and the future for Syria. It's their right to be heard, and it's our responsibility to hear them. So for that, I'm gonna show you 3 videos about the PhotoVoice project. It's 3 different participants. Maybe it will be helping you to understand exactly the impact for their life.
أنا اسمي محمود، أنا أحد المشاركين في دورة صوت الصورة. أنا كان عمري 9 سنين، إجتني قذيفة RPG، ضربت لي عيني. أنا اسمي محمود، أنا أحد المشاركين في دورة صوت الصورة. أنا كان عمري 9 سنين، إجتني قذيفة RPG، ضربت لي عيني. أولا العملية ما نجحت، عملوا لي هيك عمليات 7 عمليات ولا وحدة نجحت. بالآخر أنا ما عاد يهمني شيء، أنا عشت متت صرت عادي. لما أخذت صرت أصور هاي حسيت حالي صرت أبدع في الكاميرا، حسيت هيك نسيت شوي همي هاي. لما تطلع الشغلة طلع عليها إنه باقيها أبداً بحسها جاهزة، بس هيك خرجت لقط صورة إنه في عالم ما تتصور تلاقي بتغمض عينها أنا سريع جدا بسرعة بصور والله كان شعوري لما شفت الصورة ما بعرف هيك الشعور داخل انت شلون حسيت يا حالي، انت نشطت صراحة، كيفت فرحت شوي. والله الصراحة أحلى إشي بالدورة لما علموني بالكاميرا، قريت الكاميرا وصار قالوا لنا ارسموا أشكالكم حطوهم على حيث الذكرى وهيك. أنا الصورة لما باخذها بصور الورد بحس بالطبيعة، شلون لك بحس بالحياة، بحس حالي إنه موجود.
أنا اسمي نهى وأحد المشاركين بصوت الصورة. يا شاف الصورة هو انبسط كثير. أول شيء كان هو بده يطلع لبرا، بده يروح يشتري، فأنا بدي أخذ الصورة منه إنه بدي أصوره، ما عرضه، فشد له شعره ودغري هرب. آخر شيء يوم رجع واشترى له شيبس وصورته. لما أنا شفت صورتي بالمعرض حسيت شعور كتير حلو، حسيت إن العالم كتير انبسط فيها وهو كمان كتير انبسط فيها، حبيتها كتير أنا كمان. رجعت أخذت صور بالتليفون وأنا كتير بحب صور الطبيعة. التسامح بيعني لي كتير وبنرجع نحنا نتصالح أحسن ما نكون متباعدين. يعني شو رح نستفيد هذا الجنب وهذا الجنب.
أنا اسمي حسن، أحد المشاركين بدورة الصوت والصورة. هاي المرة الكبيرة، هاي أمها لأمي، بس نحن ما لنا فيها غير معها. أنا عندي إياها إني أعزها أكثر من أمي، لأن هي أكثر شيء هي اللي ربتنا، وهي يعني بوجودها معانا هي اللي بتعطينا مجال للحياة. الدورة هاي علمتني إنه في مجال إني أتعلم أقرأ وأكتب، وما راحت الحياة من بين إيدي. فتت بمشروع كمان باللجنة الدولية عن القراءة والكتابة، والحمد لله تحسنت شوي. يوم إني شفت الصورة بالمعرض كتير انبسطت، لأنها الصورة اللي أنا أخذتها بإيدي عارضينها بالمعرض. تعلمت خلال المعرض باللجنة الدولية صوت وصورة إنه في مجال للحياة، ما لازم أيأس من الحياة. معي إني أصير أتعلم أقرأ وأكتب، أتعلم إني أصير مصور، يعني تعلمت كثير شغلات. صراحة كثير انبسطت إني أفكر إنه بكرة أصير أتعلم أقرأ وأكتب، أصير أعلم اللي ما بيعرفوا يقرأوا ويكتبوا.
I would like to thank you again about your coming here today. And I'm going to be around if you have any question about ICMC project and the PhotoVoice project. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Amira, and I hope we've listened to them and we've learned from them, so please tell them that we have. I wonder if you'd be willing to answer some questions now. We have a little bit of time, and maybe if some people would like to make some comments or ask some questions, we can take that time now.
Thank you so much, Amira, for describing this, for sharing these stories, and thanks to the participants for sharing their stories. I'd like to hear a little bit more about how you chose the participants, how they were selected to do the project. Thank you.
We use a vulnerability assessment. We do it for all the beneficiary, for ICMC beneficiary. So we already took like half of that data from our data that ICMC already did the outreach for them, and the other data already from the community itself, like from some of the, we can say a small, not NGO, other CBOs, providing with the names for the beneficiaries want to attend, and we open our door for sure for anyone heard about the PhotoVoice project and want to attend it.
In their, okay, how can you help these youngsters in their future careers, and can you help them use what they learned with this project and within the framework of this project later on? I know it's a difficult question, but maybe you have answers.
Okay, sure. As the last story it's already telling that we already identify few problems with the kids during the sessions and the workshop. And one of them is was like the illiterate guy that he can't learn or speak or write Arabic. So we already we have in the production center in ICMC Jordan, we have a literacy classes, Arabic literacy classes. So we provide them with a small sessions and classes to begin their life. It's not easy, yes, it's not easy to give them like a full, after the sessions, a full, we can say life or providing a perfect life. But at least we can like take a step forward for that by learning and learning and learning. And we opened even like a livelihood project after doing all of that. Maybe it will be connected at some point. Thank you.
Amira, I was going to ask you if you could tell a little more about the Livelihoods Project and also the Safe Space Project, because I think we know that many of these, both adults and children, have gone through terrible traumas in their life, and some have been subjected to abuse. And how do we get them to be able to trust and to socialize again?
For the, ICMC Jordan, we have more than one project. We have the protection project and the basic need project and a legal protection, plus the livelihood project. The protection project, we have more than one method that we are doing. We provide awareness session about the protection concern for all ages. And we have a space, child-friendly spaces for the children under 15 years old. They can attend and learn a basic skills and education, like informal education, a basic formal, non-informal education. We cannot generalize all of that all of the kids not attending schools, but some of them is not attending the schools. So they come to us as a start to their life. So we provide them with a small service that we are providing the education or the fun activities or the basic skills. And during the PhotoVoice project, we already had a counselor, a psychosocial support counselor. The psychosocial support counselor she was identifying cases with the beneficiaries that already having a problem with stress or depression or trauma or any type of, we can say, the issues, the protection issues. So we conduct sessions for them to let them talk and speak, and we try to help them. And if we can't help them in our services, we do the referral for another NGOs or INGOs. This is one of the parts for the production center, and the other part we do like the literacy classes, Arabic literacy and the English literacy. And the English, we targeting youth to let them even heard and start their life. For the livelihood project, we are providing more than one category. So after attending the workshop and the courses with the livelihood project, we provide them with the kit, specialized with the kit specially for their course to start like a home business, we can say. At the same time, we give them a small session about the financial spending, how they can manage to do a small business. I think this is covering almost all of the things that we are doing from protection and livelihood.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments?
Hi, I'm Una. Just when you'd mentioned there, I've just come in literally at the last 5 minutes, but when you mentioned about small businesses that you set up, I've heard of this online website called kiva.org, where they organize mini loans or private loans, micro loans, that's what it's called, to help directly, people like, the Syrian refugees in Jordan, is it, or Egypt. I'm just wondering, do you have such a setup where, you can directly receive micro loans from people who are willing to contribute to the refugees?
No. Yeah, that's, I think.
So, we don't have this program in Jordan. We have done this in the past, especially in Kosovo, and that became a very large loan program that eventually became part of the national banking system. We don't have that there. I can tell you a little bit about the first-hand observations I've made of our livelihoods program in Pakistan. I haven't gotten to Jordan yet. And in Pakistan, there it's the same thing. They go through a 6-month course there in beautician work, barbering, tailoring, rug weaving, and then also motorcycle repair. And then they get the tools of their trade at the end of it. The people I spoke with didn't speak about needing, they got the tools, so they were able either to go to a job or they were able to start their own businesses, especially in the camps. And I visited some of those businesses, and we asked them if they're starting their own business, then to hire at least 2 refugees themselves. We also there and in Jordan are sure that we also help the local population as well as the refugee population, and that helps integration, which is a very, very important part of, even if these are first countries of asylum, hopefully they can either someday go home or have permanent resettlement elsewhere. For the vulnerable people, still it helps them to integrate into the local population that has been receiving them. And of course, we receive a lot of wisdom and guidance around integration from Pope Francis, who himself has resettled refugees of different faiths from the Christian faith, and who knows very well the importance of allowing refugees to contribute to their hosts as well as to receive from their hosts. Other comments or questions? Yes, Evelyn. I think we have a microphone coming.
Thank you very much. Yes, I was much interested in the program that you presented. Now, actually, my question is, my question is, you have there an ongoing program, you have teachers from abroad, or do you have teachers from the camp? Or, I think that is the most important, because I feel very often, the children have a mother tongue. Are they taught in the mother tongue, or are they taught in English, or voilà?
Okay. For the literacy thing, or the Arabic or the English, we have a teacher, Arabic teachers and English teacher. They are providing classes for the youth or the adult. They are learn from the camp itself, from the mother tongue. No, they already. One of them is it's related. The Jordanian and the Syrian, it's related to each other, so it's already like the same. It's not different than the Syrian, because it's the Middle East. The Middle East, all of us, we speak like the same language, the Arabic, and the English, we already learn it in the school. So they learn it from Jordanian teachers.
Just to say that the vast majority of our staff in the field and even headquarters are from local populations. So here at headquarters, we have more of an international staffing pattern. But in the field, the vast majority are from the local populations. And also, because so much of our programming right now is in the Middle East, the vast majority of the staff is Muslim. And we respect very much the mutual values and principles that we live by. Okay, yes, Jane.
Thank you. Jane Bryant from the Australian mission here in Geneva. Thank you so much for that presentation. It was just really, really interesting. And I was saying to your colleagues earlier, what a wonderful initiative to bring teenagers' voices out through something, a medium that they know and like. My question was in relation to your presentation. You said that in identifying the people for the project, you asked, I think it was health providers, to identify people that might have already had issues to contend with from a mental health perspective. Was it difficult to get those people to come forward, or were you overwhelmed with offers?
To be honest, it was a challenging thing. It's not easy to get younger people, younger children and youth to participate in workshop for 2 weeks, full 2 weeks, and give them all that. So it was a bit challenging, but we tried our best to do it, and we tried our best to reach more and more, and that's why we already did the second project.
So I don't see any more hands going up, so I'd like now to first of all give a very special thanks to our concluding speaker, and that's Archbishop Jurkovic. He's been pretty busy this week and for a long time before this, since there's a somewhat special guest who's coming to Geneva on Thursday, His Holiness Pope Francis. So there are some plans that have to be made. And so we're really grateful, Archbishop, that you took the time to join us this evening and to share some concluding words with us.
I think I'm still overwhelmed by what you said, and I would have thousands of questions, or more than thousands, because I think all this world is somehow, somehow impossible to understand. No, it's like probably it's too much sufferance that could be understood just what you say by words or even images. So I think it is almost with a fear of not saying something that would be equivalent to the quality you presented here. No? It means, how to say, it's kind of starting again life, you know? And having young people in the age when they are a little bit shy, saying something so touchy, so profound, understanding the life from the tragedies, and this is probably a collection of tragedies. No, this is even close to normal. There is nothing. No, it's normal and less than normal. Ideal absolutely doesn't exist. No? So I think in this perspective, I'm going to say a couple of things just to thank you and to appreciate the initiative of Msgr Vitillo, and also to thank our guest, Ambassador of Australia, and many other guests. Also, Dr. Cornelius Samaruga, who is with us, who is alive. His life was probably linked always to the sad stories of the mankind, and also other ambassadors. We see in the situation that you present a very dramatic situation. The numbers and statistics might be easily ignored, but it is much harder to escape the human tragedies and indignities we see so today. Never before have we recorded so many unaccompanied and separate minors seeking asylum. Refugee children face higher risk of sexual exploitation, abuse, recruitment, child labor, and early marriage. All what was said, what is said for normal life, that is already a danger of every boy and girl in the school, it means this must be much more challenging, a much more dangerous environment, let's say, so difficult to be protected from all the danger. As Pope Francis said, we must not be taken aback by the numbers, but rather view the children and the new generation in this situation as persons seeing their faces and listening to their stories, trying to respond as best as we can to their situation. to respond in a way which is always humane, just, and fraternal. We need to avoid a common temptation nowadays to discard whatever proves troublesome. Let us remember the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This rule points us in a clear direction. Let us treat the others with the same passion and compassion with which we wanted to be treated. Let us seek for the others the same possibilities and opportunities which we seek for ourselves. Let us help others to grow as we would like to be helped ourselves. In a word, if we want security, let us give security. If we want life, let us give life. If we want opportunities, let's provide opportunities. The yardstick we use for others will be the yardstick which time will use for us. The golden rule also reminds us of our responsibility to protect and defend human life at every stage in its development. Some of us are born into opportunity, while others are not. Is there a reason why a boy or a girl who has done nothing bad should become a refugee? This is one of the hardest questions to answer. Indeed, there is no answer. The great Russian writer Dostoevsky asked, as everybody knows, the same question: why do children suffer? So what can we do for reduce children's sufferings? Probably stay close to them as the evangelists remind the Christian community of Jesus' teaching: whoever receives one such child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives not me, but him who sent me. In this regard, the best interest of the child should be guiding principles in all circumstances, based on the awareness that the future belongs to our children. All children deserve the right to be children. Thank you.
Thank you, Archbishop. I think you've summed it up very well. The reason why we called this launch and what we tried to communicate, but especially what the children tried to communicate. And so let's find the ways to promote the best interests of the child. One of the ways ICMC does that is through the child protection specialists that we deploy to UNHCR. And they do a great deal of the best interest determinations for the children. And we believe that all refugee and migrant children should have best interest determinations, so that really we are finding the best solution that they want and need, as well as making every effort we could to reunify them with their families. So on those words, I'll invite you now to come to the reception. There are lots of questions that we're left with, but hopefully in talking together, and also with Amira to give us some good guidance and wisdom from the field, we hope that we'll find some of the answers this evening. You are very welcome to the reception. Thank you very much.